Katherine Black reacts. The aftermath of Corriedale. We're still on Coronation Street. We haven't done Emmerdale yet. And we've got a new massive storyline coming up. And we're straight into, we've had Jodi, Shona's new sister that has never ever been mentioned in 10 years. Even David didn't know about her, never mind the writers. Never been mentioned in 10 years. Jodi, the new sister, has turned up, moved into the house. David's let her in. Shona wasn't happy, but now it's all lovey-dovey and there's going to be hell there. She's going to be a troublemaker. We know she is. She stole a bunny from a pregnant mother in the hospital. That's a bad one if ever there was one. So, bang, big storyline this week. Haven't we had enough doom and gloom and craziness? So, what's her name? Creepy teacher, coach, Megan. Megan was the young boys' coach in Hull. For some reason, she got a job as a teacher in the school, even though she's not a teacher. She's been employed as a coach, but she's got a job as a teacher in the school. She's having an affair with, he has just turned 16, which I think weakens the story, but he turned 16 last week. But this affair's been going on for a long time. She's late 20s, sleeping with a 15-year-old who lives in the pub. Will, I think he's called. Could be wrong there. I think he's called Will, might not be. So, Megan is now with Daniel, right under Will's nose and rubbing his nose in it, getting some kind of warped pedo thrill out of this. So, again, craziness, and again, bad writing, because Megan accidentally leaves a pregnancy test on the top of a handbag where Daniel's little boy Bertie finds it. Now, I assumed she wanted it to be found, because why would you? If you suspected you were pregnant, you've done a pregnancy test, you've got it there, you put it back in the box and you leave it right on the top of your open handbag. Come on, when you're going to the kid's birthday party with all the family there. Of course, we thought it was intentional. Bad writing, it wasn't. Really weak plot line. Anyway, Bertie finds the pregnancy test. Big hoo-ha in the middle of the birthday party. Everybody goes, oh, Megan's pregnant. Megan says she isn't pregnant. She denies it all. She said it's a pregnancy test that she's bought for one of her children pupils at the school. Shady area there, straight away. So, Daniel's in the pub discussing it, saying it was a false alarm, hopefully she's done a pregnancy test and hopefully it's negative, but there's still, even with him, there's the element of doubt. Young boy is behind the bar, he has everything. Spray paints a big penis on Daniel's car, gets himself suspended, that's by the by. So, she denies being pregnant, and of course she is pregnant. So, is this baby, the 15-year-old who's now 16, the boy she's having a pedo affair with, is it Daniel's or is it some other? Because we heard her on the phone telling somebody, leave me alone, I've told you not to ring. Third person, I'm guessing it's another young boy. She's also been making eyes at Bernie's grandson, Kit's son, Brody, who's living with Tim and Sally. She's been making eyes at him as well. So she's a real wrong 'un. So the programme ends with her booking a termination at a clinic. Mic drop. Let's go to the credits. We open a new episode and Shona comes out of hospital without complaint. She can't wait to get out of hospital. A couple of days after the operation, and that's not unheard of. As long as she's eating, drinking, pooing, weeing, up and walking, and her lungs are clear, they probably would let her out after a couple of days. However, as the mother of an extremely preemie baby, I would have kicked and screamed and done anything to stay in that hospital as long as possible. When my baby was in there, nah, we get one sentence. Oh, I'm really going to miss Harper. Come on, David, let's go. Let's grab my bags. Let's go. Crazy. So, Shauna's come out of hospital. We have without complaints. And David has moved Jodi into the house. She's made herself very comfortable. We know there are bad things coming from this sister. Is there going to be an affair with David? Is she going to make eyes at David? What's her story? It's all trickling out slowly. Debbie goes to court. She's still covering for Carl and pleads guilty to causing Billy's death through dangerous driving while intoxicated. Court date. She has a court date for sentencing. There won't be a trial because she's pleaded guilty. And here it is, that big twist, bang, here we go again. Debbie is Carl's mother. Of course she is. We knew she was. All the signs were there, even though there was no foreshadowing. There should have been some foreshadowing. When Carl came into the programme, he came as Debbie and Kevin's long-lost brother. We've never heard of him before in 30 years, but here he is, and no foreshadowing whatsoever. But it was obvious he was going to be her son. So, the other thing, you know, when Carl came into the street, Debbie was single, she was solvent, she had all her wits about her, she didn't have a dementia diagnosis then, she owned a big hotel. There was no reason not for her to come out and admit that she was Carl's mother. Why hide it for 6 months? And again, it's a writing fail because they've brought Carl in as the brother. He's been the brother for 6 months and they thought, oh, twist. Let's put another twist on it. Let's make Carl Debbie's son. They had no idea about this when they wrote him into the story. There should have been some foreshadowing. If that's what they were going to do, there should have been some foreshadowing, which is how we know that that was never the intention when he came into the programme. This is something they've decided later down the line. So, there we are. Corrie, Coronation Street, the aftermath. I'm going to come back with Emmerdale, the aftermath of Corriedale, see what's been happening there. And the Christmas jumper. We are not in a time warp. I've had this waiting to go in the wash since Christmas. And I only wore it for 2 hours. We take children with extra needs to school. And I wore it for 2 hours on the last day for the kids. And haven't worn it since. So I thought this weekend I might as well get a couple of hours wear out of it before I chuck it in the wash and put it away for next year. Christmas jumper, ho, ho, ho. Happy Christmas, everybody. It's February the 1st. Nice chat.